Says we're
Yeah, it lies.
maybe.
It lies.
Hello. Oops, 6.
What?
Yeah, the day sucks, Sanford. I managed to twist my back moving an ice machine this morning. So if I'm flopping around over here, that's why. The weather is interesting. It's 76 degrees right now. It's supposed to be 5 tonight with a wind chill.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
weather's going to be taking a dive around here.
My phone just told me that, hey, old NFO is live.
Oh, thank you. Finally. Well, first I got bad news, and then I got good news. The reason that Tales Around the Supper Table 2 is not live yet is my graphic artist is having connection problems. And I don't know why they're working on it, but she's in Philadelphia. So everything up there is union. So, yeah, maybe Monday, hopefully.
Somebody needs to explain to me what the benefits to everybody else is of having unions. As far as I can tell, union means it's more expensive. Everything is more expensive, less reliable, and generally a pain that took us.
Yeah. Well, the classic example I can give personally of Philadelphia, we had a convention up there, and we had to move equipment from the truck to the convention center.
Mhm.
3, count them, 3 unions were involved. One union to take it off the truck, one to move it, believe it or not, 16 fucking feet across the sidewalk to the third one, which then moved it inside the building.
Yeah, near as I can tell, for everybody except the union members, the only thing a union does is make everything more expensive,
Yep.
more complicated, more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
One union to rule them all and in the darkness bind them.
Yes.
Asking me about my 9 years of indentured servitude in a union.
Yes.
Sometime.
And the peanut gallery came up front to make that statement just now. So yes.
Because it has strong feelings.
And I don't blame you.
And I got to catch the union steward in a goddamn lie, telling people in Oregon they had to sign up for the union. Called his ass on it, reported him. He didn't like me much.
Yeah, Cedar, I'm glad you went for a walk today, not tonight.
John has been a Texan for years and never knew it.
Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of small town Texas,
What?
I went out to take a frustration break before we started, and I'm watching the parking lot across the street, and I watched one car go in the exit, and I watched 2 trucks jump the curb and pull out in traffic.
They do that all the time.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, they're probably going, shit, this ain't as deep as the ruts in the cow pasture.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sanford, you're dead on the money. They were great when they started because they kept people alive. But when people got control, it went downhill from there.
When the wrong people got control. When the people who wanted control got control, it went downhill. Let's put it that way.
Jerry, the reason we didn't use the loading dock was we weren't allowed to because we were not using certified vehicles. We were using military vehicles. So they weren't certified to park at the loading dock.
Small town. We don't have to put up with that bullshit.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Josh. Cornell's law of iron bureaucracy. Exactly, Joel.
Hey, there's Courtney.
Yeah. Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney. I need to talk to you sometime along here.
Yeah. Yeah, they were the original HOAs. Pretty much.
For those of you who don't know, it's on book news. It came from the trailer park, is now an Audible. So if you have difficulty reading for whatever reason, you can now buy it or stream it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever you can do with
you
that.
can hand somebody money and you will have access to an Audible version of It Came from the Trailer Park.
Oh, and speaking of book news, taking a page from Lady Lark, I decided to go ahead and try to translate my books into German and Polish.
There you go.
But What I need to do is find somebody's plural, or one multilingual, that reads and speaks German and reads and speaks Polish.
Polish.
I will gladly pay them money and give them copies of the book to make sure that the translations kind of more or less match what the book's supposed to say.
And given how bug nuts the Germans are for anything to do with the American West, I have a feeling Jim's Western books will sell pretty well.
Yep, that's what I'm going to try. Yeah, Josh, there were a lot of people that were for the Union and it then became against the Union later. Verboom, yeah.
Well, any organization, any power structure where you let the people who want to run it, and everybody goes down the causing.
Yes.
I think there should be a fast and hard rule that if you want to have power, you should never be allowed to have it.
Yeah, Western. I'm going to start with Westerns, Lady Lark. We'll see what happens. The other thing, I got a bone to pick today.
Just one?
Well, one of many. The Department of Defense, in their infinite friggin' wisdom, have decided that the cost of living adjustments for the United States and other parts of the world are going to be decreased. What is called COLA, cost of living adjustment, will be decreased on January the 1st. CONUS COLA, in other words, inside the United States, will only be paid now for four locations: New York City and Long Island, Boulder, Colorado, San Francisco, California, and that's it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, Washington, D.C., Boston,
What the hell?
Los Angeles, San Diego no longer qualify for COLA.
I don't know about now, but in the 80s, Washington, D.C. was a hella expensive posting.
It still is. 48,000 troops will no longer get any kind of COLA. Yeah, go find a lot flight attendant. If I could, I would, but yeah, that would be interesting.
In Sanford, that's not necessarily the case because I'll guarantee you that Washington, D.C. is about as big a blue bastion as you'll find right now.
There is, shall we say, word on the back streets that the Marine Corps is now looking for people to come to 8th and I that are single. They are not trying to recruit married people to come to 8th and I because they do not have the facilities for them. Oh, and the last little bit, the budget that was passed by Congress for the military was $777 billion. The total allocation in 2021 for COLA for all the troops for the entire year is $8.5 million. That is freaking pocket change.
It's about the first 3 months of the year.
No, that's for the entire year.
But it'll last the first 3 months.
Yeah. And on top of that, it's a 2.7% raise. So effectively, it's a pay cut for the military. Again, welcome to a Biden administration.
Speaking of the military, back channels, I'm hearing a lot of chat. The next BRAC commission, base
Realignment and Consolidation, BRAC.
is the 20 years have passed. So once again, they're looking at, do we really need a Marine Corps?
Yep.
Y'all might want to, if you are a Marine or have a fondness for Marines, y'all might want to contact your congressman and tell him to keep his dick beaters off the Marine Corps. Because I've seen two articles so far from military types.
Yep.
That are floating a 19th Corps of the Army, the Army's 19th Marine Amphibious Corps.
Yeah.
And they're just dotting their cupcakes about how much money it would save and the social programs to save money could go to. So y'all might, if you hit the Marine or like Marines, you might want to call your congressman.
And the Army's been after the Marine Corps since
Army
the
doesn't want the
Revolutionary
Marine Corps.
War.
Army doesn't want the Marine Corps.
Yeah, they do. They want the money.
There's not that much money in the Marine Corps.
there's enough,
Not that much.
and they want the prestige.
There's about a quarter. Well, there's a core worth of money. Ain't that's
But they want the prestige, and they don't want anybody else to be able to do infantry tactics but them. Yeah. Hey, that's one less set of Ubers we got to worry about.
well, no, it doesn't matter. Even if it gets absorbed by the Army, which I think is a dumb idea. Even if it gets absorbed by the Army, y'all will still be hauling them around.
Now then, the Air Force will have to do it.
Okay.
I don't see Army guys liking to go on a boat.
Well, we've got a fairly large Navy of our own. It's not like we need boats.
The other thing, actually, on a positive note from the Army/Navy, Walter Reed / Bethesda / Fort Detrick.
Bless her hearts. Fort Detrick.
Have come up with another version of a actual COVID-19 vaccine.
The vaccine in the traditional scientific sense.
Yes.
Not the current modified definition of saying.
Yeah. And it's interesting because what they did is they basically took and created a buckyball in a nanoprotein that has 26 squares on it. So, and attaching multiple spike proteins around it to be able to yeah, Josh, that's a possibility too.
Anyway, basically they've got little tiny carbon golf balls.
Yeah.
With sockets that they can attach multiple proteins up to how many? 26?
24. I'm wrong.
24 proteins. So they can actually theoretically attach proteins for 24 different viruses to the outside of this thing, and your body goes yeehaw and starts attacking all 24.
And what they've done is they've tested it with the Omicron variant, and the lab testing has proven a go. Animal testing proved a go, and they've done the first round of human testing. And this has been going on for over 2 years now, very quietly. But it should be announced sometime in the next few weeks.
Are we picking up some drive-by spammers? Because who the hell are those two idiots?
I don't know, but yeah.
Okay.
No idea.
Do they speak English?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah, most of the boats are being decommissioned or changed to reserve units. I would also keep the Navy over the Air Force. Well, most people with any sense would, Josh. Your wife is one of those types.
I would be more comfortable with folding Air Force back in the Army than I would be folding Marine Corps.
Yep, that would, yeah, Tim, that's about what they did. They did an IKEA build-a-vaccine.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the combination of Detrick, Bethesda, and Walter Reed, they have about 2,500 scientists working there. And these are people that are
actual
experts.
Sciencey scientists, not your gender scientists.
Experts on proteins, experts on diseases, experts on...
It's Fort Detrick. Experts in really bad ways of killing the other guy.
Yeah. So they actually know what they're doing.
We got a chance one time. You need a TDY to Fort Detrick. No. Hell no. It's like TDY to Dugway Proving Grounds. Hell no.
You didn't want to go play at Dugway?
Hell no. Where they tested every chemical weapon known to U.S. science? No, I'm good.
Yeah, Cedar, you would have enjoyed Detrick sometimes. That is the only level 4 in the United States.
Richard, you forget cavalry.
Well, cavalry / armor.
It's not cavalry. Armor's a whole different thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Same thing.
Nope, a whole different thing.
Armor came from cavalry.
I don't care. It's a whole different thing.
Everybody against the Army today.
I see that.
And last but not least,
The list.
the list. A year ago, all these things were hoaxes. Vaccine can spread COVID. Vaccinated can spread COVID. Vaccinated are susceptible to new variants and reinfections. COVID vaccines can cause blood clots and other serious side effects.
That was a hoax.
Third and fourth shot will be required. New shots every year to year and a half. Shots for young children. Total segregation of society. Camps for the unvaccinated. Unvaccinated unable to work. Harder access to medical care for unvaccinated. Secret contacts between Pfizer and governments.
All of those are hoaxes.
A year ago. Now, every one of them is true. Make of that what you will.
How is Australia doing these days? Or are they allowing any outside communication?
Very little. Very little. Josh, boats or submarines?
Boats or submarines? Yeah, if I'm in it, it's a submarine.
No, a submarine is called a boat in the Navy. A ship is called a ship. All of submariners and us both call them targets, but
they're all boats.
I do have. Can we still call them cavalry when they ride tanks instead of horses? We're going to break in again today.
Nope. It's all good.
Yeah.
Armor, I hate to tell folks this. Armor, the traditional duty of cavalry. Traditional duty.
See, armor is cavalry.
Armor is not cavalry. The traditional duty of cavalry was harassment, interdiction, and reconnaissance. Fast, light strikes, and harrying the wings of enemy formations. Armor doesn't do that. Armor goes up the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael, that's about the only thing we haven't seen is no vaccine, no vote. That's coming. They will try that, especially in the blue states. Koala, military and police are terms that should not, they're mutually exclusive. They don't work in the same, no. And besides which, the Air Force doesn't have military police, they have air police.
If you're not doing light, fast strikes, harrying, patrolling, reconning, and interdicting, you're not cavalry, you're armor. There's a difference.
Yeah, naval aviators call the carriers boats. Yes, we do.
They're all boats. They're all boats.
Get yelled at every time. I'm going to go hit the boat. It's a ship. It's a ship. It's a carrier. It's the largest. It's a boat.
It floats in the water. It's a boat.
Yeah. Has a hangar.
Floats in the water. People ride it. It's a boat.
It may have lost the horses and retained the horse ship.
Woo, he's in a mood today.
Yep. Split saddle on an MBT.
No. Nope.
You're on a roll today, Tim. Koala, your security forces. Okay, fine. Your security forces in Kadena didn't bother to check with their superiors when we were pulling a P3 out of the barn and crossed the red line. So they arrested everybody, including the tow truck driver and the brake safety rider that was in the airplane. So we had an airplane sitting on the ramp, and it's a downhill ramp there with no body on it, period, and no chocks on the airplane.
Where's that plane going? Don't know.
Yeah. It was going into the grass is where it was going.
So. Boy, folks are on mood today.
Oh, it's the end of the year.
3:00 Thursday's got people feisty. I'm trying to throw some, because nominally we're authors.
Yeah.
I'm trying to throw some book stuff in. I'm going to try to throw some book stuff in here on every podcast. That's going to be difficult, I can tell already, because of you guys. And I forgot where I was going. I just had a complete total brain fart.
Koala, if you were up in Wyoming, yeah, that's, let me see, where would you have been in Wyoming? Cheyenne by chance?
There's an air base in Cheyenne.
Yeah. Never got the hang of Thursdays, yeah. A lot of people don't do Thursdays. Yeah, a lot of people don't do Fridays.
Hell, Thursday is one of my weightlifting days, and my form today on everything sucked except the light squats. Light squats, I was perfect.
Yeah.
Overhead press and deadlift, my form was terrible, and I'm going to pay for that.
F.E. Warren is in Cheyenne, Wyoming. F.E. Warren, and I think they do have a runway, John. I think they were supposed to have one. I know that. Hey, Raptor, good to see you.
Oh, Cedar. That's where I was going. Bing. Offhand comment on Facebook today. Cedar had a picture of a brigadier captain coming out of a hole with a furry Jeta bottle attached to his butt. And in the comments, apparently towards the end of January, the Rattle Saga coloring book will be live. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
After that, it'll be the lizard, the two different lizard sagas.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining in, Mike. We do appreciate it.
Hello, Mike.
Huh?
Do we know Mike?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
He's one of my American Legion brothers.
All right.
John, well, I will take that back. You're right. They have helipads. They were supposed to have runways and ran out of money. Well, they built everything else, including the golf course, the officers club, the enlisted club,
Oh, the important stuff.
the AFEs, and ran out of money because one of my cousins in his out of airplane tour was on the construction program up there. And he was less than happy.
Josh, it'll be a combination of sapper lizards and astro lizards.
Watch it, Dawn.
She's not wrong. Yeah,
Stop
so
it.
we have a lizard double edition, both the sapper lizard story and the astro lizard story.
And there's another spammer. Yep. Hey, we're moving up in the world. We're getting spammers now.
This is moving up.
I don't know. I
I want to live in a future where I can press a button and spammers explode spontaneously at their computers. That looked interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to. Let's try that. Yep.
Oh,
Aha.
Bedamned.
Yeah.
Ooh, bring him back. Let's ask him how he conspired to throw the election. Can we waterboard him and find out how that particular Russian spammed the election?
Yeah. Politicians explode first. Yeah. Oh, phone spiders. That goes back a year or three.
Phone spiders?
Yeah.
All right. I'm a science fiction writer. I'll go for anything.
That was their, depending on which version you want to believe, there were certain sets of intel that were using a type of, it was called a spider to monitor communications. Stop it, Josh. I've been doing this for a while.
You ought to go to NRA annual meeting with Jim and walk the floor. That's an eye-opening experience.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Eye-opening.
Shut up.
This is a lot. Do we know TMC 4242?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's apparently we are up to 1,000 views.
Yep. We had 1,000 views last month.
Yay.
And
in 20 years, we'll be able to monetize it.
yeah.
I heard that giggle back there.
Speaking of monetizing, buy the quilt.
Oh, yeah.
We got to pay the bills.
Yeah. Yes, you do. Somebody's gonna need to refresh my my.
This is the problem that you run into because you know people's handles.
Yeah.
You met the people, but you never connect the two. Black Hat FinCon, remember?
I wasn't at FinCon.
That's right. I know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
But that's been a problem for years.
Yeah.
There are people that literally I've known for 4 years that only know me as Cajun. That was my call sign in the military.
Mhm.
They don't know what my name is.
Well, going back to '99, there's a whole bunch of people whose handles,
Yeah.
nom-de-sabers,
Yeah.
are various letters and no Korea 45. Okay.
Yeah.
Korea 45.
Yeah.
Gwinny the Pooh.
Yeah.
So it's like these actually have.
Yeah, you tie the body to that.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like Lady Lark. It's like, okay, we got Lady Lark and then we've got Courtney.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that they were the same person.
Well, Rob Hampson and I spent over an hour at breakfast at Fantasy trying to figure out the first time we'd actually connected.
This is not a surprise.
It was 2008.
Not a surprise.
Was to me,
No, shouldn't have been.
because we were just going back and, okay, were you there? Were you there? Were you on here? Were you on there? And it turns out we were connected through some of the research organizations.
Jim is the living embodiment of the punchline of the joke that's who's that guy up there in the balcony with Jim?
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it is.
I've just been doing this shit a long time.
I'm just happy there weren't cameras way back when because I'd have a. Yeah, no. If there had been cameras when I was a kid, I'd be screwed right now. I'm talking cell phone cameras because damn, some of the stuff I did on video.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, what's even worse is a couple of years ago, some bright spark in the Philippines decided to start publishing photographs online from the
Okay.
60s and 70s.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
And the word went out, oh shit, they're putting up pictures. And there were people scrambling to go find these pictures.
Well, when the folks that got Aero Contractor's name, because allegedly it's the same company, Aero Contractors West Africa, it's not the same company. Allegedly, well, they found some of the old photos. And there for a while, there was actually a picture of a Piper Aztec.
Yeah.
I think with me and Chris as Sprogs standing next to it with Mom. And apparently somebody at Aero Contractors, the original, went, holy crap, and had all the pictures yanked. Because about a year ago, went back trying to find that picture, and I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Because, well, Bob the Not Russian's plane used to be on the Aero Contractors site. Now there's the UN boxcar that he borrowed one time flying in with a very nice, completely libelous and
It's a short 330.
yeah, and it's like, this is UN flying into Rory Sapley International Airport. No, that was Bob the Not Russian flying a
Stolen airplane.
borrowed airplane.
Yeah, Richard, the stupidity continues on the uniforms. Now the Navy
Right.
has gone to green BDUs.
I was saying, blend in the water even better this time.
Yeah. Yeah, Cedar. Flickr is good for finding interesting photos. And I am considerably older than you are, Cedar.
Well, the thing with Aero Contractors is apparently a whole bunch of lawyers showed up with copies of the Official Secrets Act and made them yank the
Pictures.
pictures.
Yeah. Well, there are usually reasons for things like that.
It was like out there after I was showing Jonathan LaForce how to do stuff with a knife. For being a Marine, that boy, knives were not his thing. Anyway, I was showing you in the driveway, showing him how to.
Oh, thanks, Cedar.
What?
I'm older than her dad.
No. And it turns out that the guy that was peering at us through the kitchen window across the street was the Christians in Action senior agent assigned to West Africa. Knew my dad and knew Smart Patrick Afaka. I mentioned Smart Patrick Afaka and he went, "Oh, that's some bitch." Like,
And
wow.
Ian's jaw hit the ground and bounced.
It's like, how the hell?
Yes, Dawn, I know that.
In small town Texas, you have to be the.
Ooh, that reminds me. If I
Uh-oh.
can find him. I know somebody speaks Polish. If I can find his ass.
Tom Romney. If Tom doesn't know Polish, he'll know somebody who does.
Yeah. That was who I was thinking about.
Come back, Tom Romney. I think he's probably still got contacts at Defense Language, DLI.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. One guy makes me feel better. Yes, Dawn, you're the little girl in the group.
There was a young officer who looked at me all big-eyed one day when I was still working for the sheriff's office and went, "Gee, LT, you're older than my dad is." He spent a lot of time in a place he didn't want to be.
Josh, I am 70.
There was another one. His dad came to work for us. And you've got this guy, this officer, his father, and both of them were younger than I was. That's when I started mainlining Geritol people.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, yeah, you got me by 2 years, Richard.
That went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah. Yeah. Being an old fart does have its advantages.
Yeah, you knew Mohammed on a first name basis.
Stop it, koala. Jesus. And I have to put up with this shit from y'all.
Yes, you do. Deal with it.
Speaking of which, Murph said say hi as he was rolling through.
The wave?
Yeah.
The dog wave?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right then.
He's headed to California and look at his mine.
He needs to dump that property and get the hell out.
He's got something in work that I'll tell you about later.
Mm.
Oh.
The elder and the accent. Oh, Lord. We are engaging towards the end of January, we're engaging in a research expedition.
Yes.
Venturing into the wilds of Amarillo for various research and what the hell do the girls call it? Sourcing.
Yeah.
So, and towards the end of January, we're going to be up in Amarillo, and hopefully I can kick my muse loose because she's done made for rafters and is refusing to come down.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Josh. May I have another? Yes, Richard, I'm a nasal aviator. And did most of my career in that, which is why I've seen more parts of the world than I really wanted to think about sometimes.
I got to do that without the aviation part.
Yeah, I get to go to new and strange places and get shot at by the natives. Mm-hmm. Fun days at the office.
Or your own side.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember, well, other than the time the New Jersey fired as we were over the top of them. That was a, yeah, right, Dawn. Sure.
I had, back on Tuesday, I had two things I was going to rant about. I ranted on one, forgot the second one.
Remembered it earlier today.
Earlier today, I remembered what the second one was and put a pin in it so I could rant about it today and have forgot about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Cedar, the Texas Ranger Museum is well worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Highly recommended.
Oh, yeah.
And Dawn, you need to do some research too.
Yes.
Dawn refuses to say she's a writer, but she is a writer. She needs to get off her butt and do the writing.
There are several people of my close personal acquaintance that have written stuff, but for some reasons known only to God and various hamsters, are refusing to pull a trigger and publish.
Yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah, Raptor. Yeah, that's exactly right. People in Washington will not let you shoot them, even when they're actively trying to kill you.
Oops.
Fuck
Bullpup Revolvers? What the hell?
is that? Bullpup
I've
Revolver.
never heard of a Bullpup Revolver.
That's almost as bad as that. What was that friggin' underlug screwed up 38 357?
Oh, the Chiapa Rhino?
Chiapo, yeah.
Chiapa Rhino is a
Yeah.
Wish.com version of the Mateba.
Yeah. Raptor, we will not kick your ass. We will let you know that you might have screwed something up, but we'll always be polite.
That was a disbelieving feminine snort from the back.
Yeah.
Sure you will.
We're always polite.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. When the hell did Dawn publish on Amazon?
It was Jade's cookbook.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Don's
count.
actually put up a book or two. The short stories.
Well,
As bad as
Well.
automatic revolvers.
automatic revolvers are an interesting piece of kit. It's a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah. Now, Raptor, we don't do bridges. We got some land.
I do bridges, usually with precise applications of way too much high explosive.
Yeah.
Build it. Bridge is done.
Yeah, Jesse, we're always nice, just for versions of nice.
I am exquisitely nice.
Webley Fosberries, yes, that's an interesting pistol.
It's a solution looking for a problem to solve.
Yeah. And I know a guy that has one of every version they ever made in every caliber. And I asked him why. And he went, yeah, I got one and I got interested.
Like you do.
So he has this entire collection of pistols, probably more pistols, more Webley Fosberries than anybody else in the world, and nothing to do with them.
Yeah, because they're obsolete.
They're obsolete. He can't get ammo. He can't shoot them.
Well, I'll have to find Ann Days and the cookbook and see if I can flog it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And some stories.
Yeah.
Some people collect things obsessively. Yes. Yes. And we need somebody who collects quilts obsessively.
Yes. Yes.
Buy the quilt.
Yes, Sean, you're exactly right. There are people who collect obsessively, and sometimes it is truly weird stuff.
Oh, Dardick. Dardick made a revolver, a really, well, sort of revolver, a magazine-fed revolver for a while. Shocking to no one, the Dardick didn't go very far. But I know people that will pay stupid amounts of money for a Dardick revolver.
Yeah.
It's interesting from an engineering standpoint. It's a very interesting design. Doesn't do anything to blow up anybody's skirt.
Yeah. Yeah, Springfield 1903, M1903s, good luck with that. They're out there. But, yeah, the Dardick round.
Tround. It
Tround,
was
yeah.
triangular, so it would fit. Case.
Yeah.
And there for a while, they actually had a plastic triangular in the middle of it would turn it into a tround.
Yeah. Yeah, Sanford Panhandle Plains actually has 2 gyro pistols up there, new in the box, unfired, with ammo.
And if you hear somebody screaming, "Witness me," and watch me come running out of Panhandle Plains, wearing only a loincloth with a face painted silver, they're going to be missing a gyro jet.
Yeah, Springfield receiver, the Rock Island barrel. Yeah. Spring Island. Yeah. You get people that get into that.
Apparently, she's listening to us in public and on TV.
Oh, RK, bless your heart.
Woo!
Actually, Sanford, they've actually fired a couple of them. No, Rick, they're not. It's not into or in Oregon. It's sitting in a drawer.
They've got a really neat setup. The first time you go through, if you're not going with somebody or the museum staff don't take pity on you, when you first go through the firearms display, it's a very nice display. The exhibit's fantastic. What you'll realize is what you're actually seeing in the exhibit is a quarter of what's there.
Yeah.
Because if you tug on the very nice things under the exhibits, drawers open up.
Yeah.
And more of them appear.
And that gets you up to about a third of what the total that they have.
Yeah, I would put the Panhandle Plains firearms exhibit up against anybody else's. I seriously would. They've got a fantastic. They make the Imperial War Museum in London look dumb.
Yeah, Josh, that's a nice collector piece. If you got a 4344 SA, 03A3.
Josh wanted to collect people.
Yeah.
You like stuck to a board with needles collection, or like Rita does it?
MP, she probably
No, this is actually Cedar. This is actually in the exhibit.
Yeah.
It's, if you don't know to pull out the drawer, there's like 5 to 10 little sealed drawers under each exhibit, and if you pull them open, there's more.
No, actually, Richard, the museum in Pensacola, I did fly the P3,
Of course you did.
the
My shocked face.
EC 121 that was there in 1973, or actually 72.
Cedar's got a good point. There have been several discoveries, landmark discoveries.
Yeah.
Of stuff that happened because a board professor or graduate student was going through the stacks.
Yeah.
And said, "What the hell is this thing?"
Yeah.
And apparently had been found 20 years before and stuck in a corner.
Yeah.
There's somebody with a little bit of burnishing knowledge went, "Oh my God, that's the Rosetta Stone," or whatever.
Yeah, Sean, the Firearms Museum at Cody is impressive. Yes, very, very much so. Another nice one is John Moses Browning's museum in Ogden, Utah.
When the COVID stupidity is over with, I have faith.
Yeah.
I've got to go see that museum. Also, and something we waved under John's nose is the Panhandle Plains Museum in Canyon, Texas has a fabric and clothing exhibit that is apparently second to none.
Yeah.
We're talking 5 figures worth of clothes and designs and whatever you do with needles and thread and cloth and clothes.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Panhandle Plains Museum has a fantastic exhibit.
Yeah. Thank you, Don. I actually study history, so I kind of actually like to know what I'm talking about when I tell people. But one of the more interesting tours was Jay Grazio.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
I missed out on that one. I was asleep.
When he came down to D.C. At the time, he was still up in Massachusetts. And we took him to Udvar Hazy and down to the Pentagon and took him through the Pentagon. Josh, you're more than welcome. I won't hurt you. I'll give you a 500-yard running start.
I'm hoping that we're definitely going to Panhandle Plains Museum in Canyon and the American Quarter Horse Museum in Amarillo.
Yeah.
So that I can lure my muse out of the rafters and stick that heifer in a jar.
Yes, Dawn, that was the simplest way to explain it. She's talking about
Big bada boom.
USS Missouri's 16 inchers.
There's a
Yeah.
Don and Sybil Harrington. I don't know if Don's still alive. I think Sybil is. Big philanthropists in Amarillo, and they have a discovery center that's it's called the Don and Sybil Harrington Discovery Center. It's geared for children, and it's one of these places that it's designed the kids can touch everything and should.
Yeah.
It's like you get your crumb snatchers on everything. Jim and I went there one time. We were go by the Don and Sybil Harrington Museum or Discovery Center, and it happened to be the Cold War. And I didn't think, it would never have crossed my mind that you could do an exhibit of Cold War stuff that the 4 to 12-year-olds could dink around with.
Yeah.
But they did it. And apparently it was funny as hell watching a whole pack of 4 to 12-year-old sprogs and me and Jim run around with all the spy gear.
You might have been helping the kids a little bit.
It was apparently scared a couple of parents because we were teaching the kids some extra stuff.
Yes, that is a travesty, Dawn. Yeah, Sanford. GoFundMe's are nice, but not for toys.
You get me out. If you get me out working Bradley, things are going to change.
Yeah. RK, yeah. Smithsonian's got some good stuff. The aviation stuff is good.
I put Pan Planes right up there with Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Panhandle Plains, they've got they have a dugout, one of the original dugout houses from the European founding of the Panhandle on museum grounds. They've got a working 19th century, 20th century, 1900s.
Yeah.
One of the earliest oil rigs.
Yeah.
They've got it set up on the main floor and it's working.
Yeah.
Well, it's not pumping, but all the parts are moving.
Yeah, that's why my dad went to the pipeline side.
Oh, yeah.
Because the headache rack on one of that era broke, and he watched 3 people die and
It
said,
happens.
I think I'm going to go be a pipeliner now. Her Army maintenance was on working Bradley. Well, it may or may not have a heater, but
No, the cab heater on the damn things. Nothing like being in Fort Drum, New York with a non-functioning cab heater in your M3 in the middle of December.
Yeah. Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago is good. U-505, yeah, it's a submarine. They're all basically alike.
It's a submarine, he says.
They're small, they're tight.
When things unkink, I want to take Rita down to Galveston and go through some of their stuff.
Yeah. Just as long as the gun works and has plenty of ammo. After we were, many years ago, we went to a blog shoot down in Knoxville at the invitation of one of the, as a matter of fact, it was Lucky Gunner, invited us down. And it was a full auto blog shoot and military displays. And among other things was a real M37 tank. And
with the gun?
With the gun.
The 2-pounder?
Yeah.
Oh.
And ammo that worked.
Oh, you never got me out of that thing.
And he opened the show, quote unquote, by blowing a hole through the side of the school bus. That was the target.
Like you do.
Yep. And it was really funny because Knoxville SWAT brought the SWAT team out on the Huey.
Oh.
And they spent 10 minutes going, cold range, cold range. Everybody put your gun down, walk away.
Do not shoot at the Huey.
And could hear the guys because we were standing over by the guys running it. And we could hear the Huey pilot going, is it safe? Screw it. We're going to land behind the fucking firing line. Screw it. We're going
for certain varieties of
to.
safe.
Yeah. So a few of us went over, got to looking at the Huey, and I'm looking at it going, yeah, this is a friggin' early B. I said, yeah, that's Vietnam era armor. The guy flying it looked at me, he goes, how do you know that? Yeah, I might have a little familiarity with that.
Also, the Fort Sill, the museums at Fort Sill are pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not as good as Panhandle Plains, but nothing is.
Yeah.
But the artillery museum at Fort Sill is not bad.
Yeah.
The old.
Except that they had everything locked up. You couldn't get in it.
Well, we pulled up. I'm looking over, and it looks like a Bradley, but it looks like some science fiction artist that didn't know what the hell he was doing had gotten a hold of a Bradley. And so I had to go over to find out what the hell they'd done to the Bradley. And I was a Bradley track commander. I was going inside it, and it didn't open. And you have no idea how frustrated I was.
He was pulling on it. He was climbing up, trying to get in the other hatches.
So I know how this works. I know exactly what they did to that rear door. So I went up top for the the track commander's hatch, and they welded it.
Yeah. No, Josh, I didn't ride in that particular Huey, but I've ridden in Hueys. And last helicopter flight I had was in a 60 Bravo. That was a fun flight. Yeah, there are. Speaking of autographs, I do have to tell a story about we had a kid come to the squadron, a journalist, JO2, it's E5, came to our squadron from the New Jersey. And when he'd gotten to the New Jersey, he was the youngest member of the crew. So he talked to his chief and said, I'd like to do some stories about the crew. And the master gunner's mate chief on the New Jersey at the time was 67 years old. He'd been retired twice and brought back on active duty because he was the only man in the world qualified to shoot a 16-inch gun. So this kid goes up to interview him, and he goes, well, shit, son, come with me. Takes him down in the bowels of the ship, points to a rack, says, that's my initial scratch there from World War II. Yeah, son of a bitch.
Jerry, my first trip to Aberdeen Proving Grounds, I was a 45 Bravo, which at the time was small arms specialist. And they had a brand new test. We were the first class that took this test. And the average on the test after we got done with AIT, well, I think if I remember right, this has been a long time ago, was in the low 80s, and I got a 98. I missed one question. And it was a cold test. Didn't know we were taking it, and I missed one question. I got annoyed because they would not tell me what question I missed, which really annoyed me. However, as a consolation prize, they gave me a guided tour of the Small Arms Museum at Aberdeen Proving Grounds. And I probably should have seen a doctor after I got out of there.
It lasts more than 4 hours.
I got the white gloves. I got the coon finger of things that I'd read about.
Yeah.
And it's always been slightly amusing. There are people that talk about certain guns.
Yeah.
That I got the handle of HKG-11. And there's only about 2 of them in the U.S. and you didn't.
Yeah.
I did. I didn't get to shoot it. I got to pick up a coon finger HKG-11.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, G11. Fantastic piece of garbage. I like most HAs. What the hell is VOI FYI?
I don't know, but it's going away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's this.
We got the coon finger, some interesting guns down already.
It's also impressive when folks at the time. I think I was a PFC.
Yeah.
I was E3 when I went through AIT. I said I got my prize for smoking this test was a guided tour of the Small Arms Museum, and I'm a gun nut. I've been a gun nut since I was in single digits. I'm a gun nut. So not only did I say, "Oh yes," I made them give me the white gloves, and if they showed me it, I picked it up. I spent an entire day, and if they hadn't dragged me out of there at closing time when it was dark, I'd probably still be there.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick, we're HK and we hate our customers. That's about the
You
truth.
suck and we hate you.
Yeah.
But I've got folks, and there are
German engineering.
yeah, there are cognoscenti on the internet, especially on the gun side, that you'll get some newbie come through, some Call of Duty player will talk about how good the HKG or whatever, name one, how good it is, and these, yeah, they'll say you didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Because there aren't any, there aren't that many. It's like nobody's got to touch, and it's like I have.
Yeah. Yeah, enthusiast, Ian. You're an enthusiast.
I'm a gun nut. I am a gun nut because I figured out early on that those with guns ran things.
Yeah.
It was Africa. If you had a gun, you ran things.
Moose is now petting the cat.
I pet cat.
Dawn, you need to. Moose ain't right, folks.
Ooh, Cedars discovered carnicerías.
Ah.
I will hug him and pet him. And
Yeah.
call him cat.
Add more springs. Yeah.
And screws.
Yeah. One of the guns in the museum at Browning is the original test, 1918.
Oh wow.
And quite a few of the ones in the back are the actual test articles that John Moses Browning himself designed and built and tested for the government.
Well, apparently, certain U.S. Army depot centers got a 300 series M2 heavy machine gun.
No, that's now in the museum.
That John Moses Browning probably turned the screws on.
Yeah. And was still in combat in, what, 2011?
It was in the global war.
Yeah.
Global
It was
war
in the
terror.
Gulf.
Yeah. It's M2 Browning.
Had never been back to be re-arsenaled. Apparently they changed barrels and that was it. It kept going.
I'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't have it back because you'll screw it up.
Yeah.
His machine gun is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, they're yeah, but the cat was all into it and it was awkward and adorable. Okay, Don, that'll be a Facebook post.
I worry about her sometimes.
Yeah.
Moose is adorable, but he's a bit of a derp hound.
Yeah. Well, he never socialized.
He's
That
a
was
bit
the
of a
problem.
derp. He's a bit of a
Yeah.
derp hound.
And if you sneak up on him, he barks at you like a sumbitch. Hey, he fits with the rest of the crowd. What can you say?
Ooh, we medicated Moose.
Oh,
Oh boy, I bet that's fun.
that had to be interesting.
Apparently they sell CBD for dogs now.
Oh, geez.
I've got a stoner dog.
Literally a stoner dog. Oh,
Here you go, Scooby.
yeah. It's Scooby
Deep drag.
Stack.
Deep drag.
Yeah.
You're okay. It's a machine gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
happens,
Raptor, that
happens
was
a lot.
hilarious. And we did get to fire, among other things, I fired a M16 and 1928 Thompson, a Vector, Chris Vector, fully automatic, and a BAR inside of 15 minutes. I only got one magazine through each of them, but it was fun. But the problem was go from the T28, from the 1928 to the Vector.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
And the Vector was that oddball with the 45-degree rotating bolt.
The bolt that cams down instead of back.
But what it does
Weird.
is there's no muzzle rise.
Which
So
is really weird.
I'm going from a 1928, which I'm holding down for all it's
You're
worth,
driving into
into this Vector, and I went right into the
in the
ground.
dirt. Everybody does that for
Like,
anybody
son of a
experienced does
bitch.
that
Yeah.
the first round. Oh,
Yep, single round trigger. That is how the single round trigger on the Modus is how Carlos Hathcock got a 2,500 yard kill with a Modus in Vietnam.
About Moose's nerves.
Yeah.
Here's a bag of Doritos. Have
Yeah.
him smoke this and give him the Doritos. He'll be fine.
Yeah. And on that note, folks, we've wasted
Holy
another
crap,
hour of
we
your
have.
time.
I'd like to see a thumbs up through here sooner or later. How many people would like? How many people would be interested in Rita reading one of her short stories on here?
Yes.
Because she's not sure anybody would be interested in hearing a short story. But she's going to kill me.
She's gonna kill you. You're right there in range, honey. You better be careful.
But
Well,
my little
I
darling,
hate to tell you, but you're outvoted.
my little darling's not sure that anybody really wants to hear or will want to read her short stories. They're fantastic, folks. Y'all need to.
As long as it's not the money knows rape.
Not the monkey knows rape.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Richard Brown.
Richard Brown. If you die, can I have your guns? No. I think Rita gets to keep those.
We're killing the law dog part. All right, folks. Y'all have a merry new year.
Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy
Be
New
safe.
Year.
All right.
Be safe. And remember, if you hear gunshots, get under something because those damn bullets have to come back down somewhere.
Mm.
We could probably, well, Dot works. That's the problem. Getting Dot off to do that. Yeah, we might possibly do that.
I suppose we could record it.
Yeah, we could always record it and play it back. Anyway, folks, be safe. Have a good weekend. We'll see you in 2022.
Ish.
Ish, yeah. And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Bye-bye.